Welcome back to Ask Allison. Here's today's question. Do you feel like entry-level clinicians can get the appropriate consultation and collaboration working in group private practice if they seek out those resources? I want to ensure I'm doing everything I can to give my clients the best I can. So, love this question. First, I'd like to thank Therapy Notes for sponsoring Ask Allison. They are the #1 rated electronic health record system available today with live telephone support 7 days a week. It's clear why Therapy Notes is rated 4.9 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot and has a 5-star rating on Google. Therapy Notes makes billing, scheduling, note-taking, and telehealth incredibly easy. And they also have ePrescribe for you prescribers out there. If you're coming from another EHR, Therapy Notes makes the transition incredibly easy, importing your demographic data free of charge so you can get going right away. Find out what more than 100,000 mental health professionals already know. Use promo code ABUNDANT at therapynotes.com for 2 free months. Excuse me. So the first supervisor I had an agency took me to the outlet mall to pick something up that she needed for her son's birthday during our supervision. We chatted in the car. That counted. She showed movies during group therapy for our mandated clients and read novels in the corner. Just because something or someone seems legitimate, the way an agency job seems legitimate, doesn't mean that it's good. When I was in private practice at first, I paid out of pocket for a supervisor. That weekly hour was dedicated wholly by someone whose clinical work I admired. She wasn't afraid to really get in there with me, to challenge me, to unspool things with me. She was a really great teacher and leader. And because she wasn't my boss, I felt like I could be really honest when I felt scared or clueless. Not only do I think an entry-level clinician can get great supervision and consultation if they seek it out themselves, I think there are instances where the supervision is superior. Similar to how a private practice clinician may provide better care because they set their practice up in a sustainable way that prevents burnout, a private supervisor can be picky about who they take on, how much they work, etc. So I want you to be picky about who you choose as well. The worksheet for today is 7 questions to ask when interviewing potential supervisors. Also, an important part of your development as a clinician is what clients you're working with. Sometimes if you're in a group practice, you may have a bit more say in who you see than you would in an agency. You have total autonomy in your own practice. So I can make a case for how supportive counseling for clients that I worked with who were diagnosed with schizophrenia, they benefited from my clinical development. I could make that argument, but it'd be a stretch. And the truth is, I learned some best practices and I spent some time so I could serve some of my clients from that time. I did my job as well as I could. Had that same amount of time and energy been dedicated to honing skills in my niche, I'd be using them today and I'd probably be more effective. This comes from a ton of privilege. I'll also own that includes hindsight. I needed a job. I found one and there is no shame and no regret in that. I was in a position where I could keep living my broke grad school lifestyle so that I could afford out-of-pocket supervision later. I worked 2 jobs. If I'd had health conditions or kids or parents to care for, that might not have been an option. So know that there's an ideal that I'm talking about that may or may not be accessible for everybody. If agency supervision is what you have now and it's not what you hoped, then read books relevant to what you want to do, join a peer consult group, do group soup at a lower hourly rate with a supervisor you trust. So in terms of group private practice, I would say interview who would be doing your supervision and see if they are a good fit for you. Just like an agency, some group practices might not be looking necessarily for that fit as much as we have a supervisor on staff and we have this new person that we hired. Do the interviewing to know whether or not it makes sense to set money aside to see someone else so that you can be the kind of clinician you want to be. So get creative, get scrappy. You can have what you want. And I'm guessing / hoping we all want to be great at what we do. If you're needing help getting your practice up and running or getting clients in the door, then join us in the abundance party. It's literally what we do. All right. Have a great day.